my God. Hey,
Look
well,
at Star Trek.
welcome everyone to TV Show in Space. I'm your host, Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Frost, joined by the usual ragtag group of misfits. What's up, everybody?
Hi.
Boy,
And-
Hardy, that was some Star Trek.
I'm
Before we dive in,
disappointed.
I have to show my shirt.
Okay,
Let's
Jake's
see
got
it.
to show his shirt
If you're watching,
because he quickly has to change out of it because it's cutting off the circulation to his brain.
Yeah, I'm not going to change out of it because I think I have to be cut out of it now. This is from Patrick Stewart's One Man Christmas Carol. It was performed on November 30th, 1991, and
I was there.
I was 12. It fit 12-year-old me. It does not fit 46-year-old me.
can't
But
believe
since
you
this
did
is
it.
one of our farewells to the Next Generation cast, I had to bring it out of Space Dog.
Out of retirement.
Yeah.
You guys, we're saying goodbye to our Next Generation friends.
Kind of.
I mean, yeah,
Temporary. It's not goodbye. It's so long.
For
but
now.
for
Yeah.
now.
Goodbye for now. You know,
They,
we'll see you
and-
around.
They,
We'll see a few
some
of them soon.
stop by and visit, you know.
And what a terrible send off.
We tried to warn you.
I have been so vocal about how, I just don't think any Star Trek could ever really disappoint me. And wow, here we are.
Yeah, I didn't see any messages from you about this has the juice. There's
Yeah, no,
juice.
you did see one message from me that's a screenshot of like an Onion article from 2017 that says report, holy shit, there's still 50 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
Because at one point I did pause to see how much time I had left, and it was 45 minutes that I still had of this goddamn movie.
Wow.
I will say I did get one message that it had the juice. And it read, "Not me crying at Deanna and Will's wedding."
It's in the first 5
Spoiler
minutes.
alert, full on sobbing. So, okay, I guess let's get into it. The year's 2012, or the year's 2002. How old am I? I'm 13. I'm 13 when this movie came out. And I for sure don't remember seeing it in theaters like I mentioned I thought I did. Because I knew nothing about this going in, including the villain reveal. So when we get there, your girl was pleasantly surprised. But instead, the movie starts with some interesting title cards and an establishing shot of a planet called Romulus. And I'm immediately pissed off.
Because you
Why-
don't like the Romulans.
Why do you hate the Romulans so much?
They're the worst.
Oh,
Well-
just in general.
You know,
Because
to
of
quote
Sela.
to quote Klingons, they have no honor.
They have zero honor, and they pale. They are so pale, you guys. What is the deal with how pale they are in this movie? Okay,
Something to do with the sun shining on Romulus or not, or something. I don't know.
On Remus, yeah.
On
On
Remus,
Remus.
yeah.
Wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Now the
Yeah.
Remans were in the caves. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
But weren't they both raised by a wolf?
You're getting your.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You're getting your.
I think that's canon. Yeah.
Sorry. I understood that reference.
Ay, Dios mío. Okay, so on Romulus, the Romulan military offers... Oh, I guess I didn't mention the name of this movie, Star Trek Nemesis. You guys knew that. So on Romulus, the Romulan military offers the Imperial Senate plans to join forces with the Reman military and invade the Federation. But Praetor Huron refuses to cooperate. A green Thalaron radiation mist is released by a small device in the room, and everyone is disintegrated. It felt weird to watch this movie because it is so 2002, and I'm not used to seeing my next gen stuff with a 2002 filter over it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I
think
wish
so.
I wish I did.
The graphics they look better than they did in the 90s, but at the same time they still look super fake.
Well, and
Okay,
this
okay.
wasn't ILM this time, so it was
Oh, well, that makes a difference.
lower quality.
Couldn't afford
Production
ILM.
shop. Yeah.
And at one point they're wearing Oakleys. Like, How is that
Everybody
not?
was in the early 2000s.
Not me.
Meanwhile, the crew of the USS Enterprise E prepares to bid farewell to longtime First Officer Commander William Riker and Counselor Deanna Troy, who are getting married.
It's about goddamn time.
For real.
Well, and even Picard at one point during his magnificent toast that he was giving them, he says, Deanna, there's still time if she wanted to back out. And I'm like, what do you mean there's still time? They've been doing this for 30 years. I think if she wanted out, she would have left already.
There's no more time.
Well, she kind of did for a minute.
Yeah. A couple of times.
But only after he did for a minute, because he's the one that
And he
bounced
went-
and didn't say
yeah.
goodbye. Yeah.
Couple
Yeah,
of
these
times,
crazy
yeah.
kids. These
We were
crazy
on a
kids.
break.
That's
We were
why
on a break.
I'm happy to leave these two alone because their relationship confuses me.
Just happy they're locking it down.
Dude, you're getting married. Get out of here.
Get it off my desk. I'm
Yeah.
tired of these two.
Take it somewhere else.
Go to a different
So,
ship.
Jake, I have a question for you
Yeah.
for timing on this.
Yeah.
How far past insurrection does this fall?
It is
Is it
4
like-
years. 4 years.
So that
I'm
was
sorry.
a question.
Let me rephrase it. In universe,
Yeah.
how long is it?
Yeah.
In
So why is
canon.
Worf still on the goddamn ship?
Well,
I came back
That-
to visit.
It sounds
That
like
is-
you're asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I came to have my
that is a
laundry.
that is a huge nitpick that I have about this scene, but we'll get there.
I came to get my laundry done.
Yeah.
Jake is like,
Okay.
I have one gripe, and it's this.
No, there are two gripes in the wedding scene that
Oh, is it
just
the lieutenant that's on the far left-hand side of the screen?
Who took a
correct.
break from exploring the creases of space and time to come to the wedding of Riker.
And,
And-
and then he's just gone.
The United doesn't
he
have a
went back
single
to explore
scene
space and
in the,
time.
in the rest of the movie.
And he resigned from Starfleet, so he shouldn't be wearing the goddamn uniform.
Exactly, yeah.
But you said, Jake, you said, because he shows up naked for the Beta Z wedding, because as is tradition, right? And so because he didn't have any clothes, that's what they gave him.
That's
But
Will's
the Betazoid
headcanon.
wedding was later.
Listen, you guys, I don't
know.
Wait, so
That's Will's headcanon, and so yeah, the whole Wesley thing, and the fact that
Yeah.
he literally doesn't do anything.
I guess he has a scene, but it's deleted or whatever.
It doesn't show up on the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, but I think there was one written where it was said that he was going to serve on the Titan. Which also doesn't make a lick of
Which
sense.
No, why
doesn't
would you?
make a
Should
lick
I-
of sense?
Should I continue to teleport around space and time and explore things that way, or should I sit on the bridge of a starship?
Hey, he gets to be close
To
to
be
Robin
fair,
Leffler.
because of the nature of time, he can do both. Who's
Well,
to yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so are we going to talk about Worf too?
Give me
Yeah.
a minute.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Let's get to that.
I want to just say Picard's stupid little speech made me cry. That's all. And he
Such a
ends it with
softie.
make it so. Here's the thing about me. I'm always going to cry at a wedding. I'm always going to cry at a wedding. And if it's the wedding of my two best friends in the whole wide world, William Riker and Deanna Troy, full on sobbing. Don't make me your bridesmaid. I'll biff it. Okay, but Data serenades the couple with an rendition of Irving Berlin's song Blue Skies, and Worf, drunk,
Oh, Worf.
just
Romulan
drunk.
ale should be outlawed.
It is.
and that's just a fun little foreshadow of the rest of his character in the rest of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That was about it. I mean, did he have really any other lines? My question, timeline wise, is where did the Defiant? I can't remember where this falls in the Deep Space Nine timeline.
It's 3 years after DS9, and this is where it gets
okay.
really, really frustrating for me. And it's because, Rebecca, Worf has a very, very, very specific ending at the end of Deep Space Nine. And there's no reason at all that he should be on the bridge of that ship.
Oh,
But his friends were there.
did he die?
No,
No.
but he's
do any of us really
It's been
die.
so long, I don't remember even what it was that happened at the end of Deep Space Nine. I'm
Well,
excited.
it's a good thing we're rewatching it. Huh?
Yeah.
But what? So it just annoyed me that they didn't even address it. That they were just like, "Oh, he's back. He's here. He's one of the crew." And I just one sentence would have done it for me.
Sure.
The wedding scene, the person who was more than Rebecca excited about it was Marina Sirtis. She said she was ecstatic about the role that Troy plays in the movie. She was pleased with the wedding scene, saying the dress that she wore for Nemesis was nicer than the one she wore at her actual wedding.
I get a feeling Rebecca's going to have the same issue I do with that statement.
And
I
she
think I
was
know
happy.
where she's going.
She was happy to work again with Will Wheaton and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I will say the Guinan cameo is pretty great.
That's nice. Yeah.
She didn't really work with them.
I was gonna say work.
Or was she just happy to see her friends one day on set?
Yeah.
I guess it's option 2.
That's probably what it was.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so while en route to wherever it is that they were going, the crew of the Enterprise discovers a positronic energy reading on a planet in the Caloran system near the Romulan neutral zone. Picard, Worf, Data, those three land on Calaris 3 and go four-wheeling. This is where the Oakleys come in handy. And they find some remnants of an android. And when I tell you, I turn to my husband and I say, my eyeballs are going to roll out of my head if this is Brent Spiner. And wouldn't you know it? It's Brent Spiner again. And he's an android when reassembled. His name is B4. And to which Picard
Dr.
does
Singh
say,
like Battleship.
to which he was like, I guess I do appreciate Noonien Singh's whimsical naming strategies.
It's because in the original script it was not B4. It was something.
It was B9.
fun. Was it?
B9, like benign.
Benign.
It
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
B9 because that's the name of the robot on Lost in Space.
Well, and that's why they didn't do it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much they could have done about this, but I just thought it was funny that the android before Data was made to look like an old version of Data.
Yep.
Middle-aged.
bags
What
under the
would-
eyes.
Data.
what would this dude look like in 20 years?
Yeah.
I'll make a version of that.
Make a version of that.
So can I also make a quick note about the Argo really fast?
Sure.
Okay, so the one of the complaints is it's the 24th century. Why is there a vehicle with wheels? Why are there multiple vehicles with wheels? And
It's
apparently,
an evergreen invention.
That's what
apparently the wheeled vehicle had not been taken out of service in the 24th century, especially on Earth. Finishing up the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko, he talks about the electro cars that he saw around New Orleans and even rode in occasionally.
Oh,
There you go.
So it is a thing.
that's
All right.
fun. Your book knowledge coming in handy on this one. So the crew determined B4 to be a less advanced version of
Well, yeah.
Data.
Because
That's
it
a
was
good way of putting it.
because it was dumb.
That was
Why is it light in here? Why is it dark in here?
why?
Why does he have a shiny head?
Yeah. Did I say something
He's the
wrong?
penultimate 3-year-old
Yeah, basically.
or 4-year-old.
And also, so Data connects his brain to B4's brain, and they do like a data swap or a data swap, as you will,
Hey.
between them. And I guess we just completely thrown the emotions chip out the window.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel
Okay.
nothing, Jordy.
Forget
I feel
that happened.
nothing.
I feel nothing, right? Like, okay. Okay, that's fine. Spoiler alert, Voyager makes it home because Vice Admiral Catherine Janeway surprises Picard when she orders the crew to conduct a diplomatic mission to Romulus. Janeway informs Picard that the Romulan government has undergone a military coup and is now controlled by a Reman named Shinzon, saying he wants peace with the Federation and to bring freedom to Remus. I didn't know about Janeway.
Yeah, so that was another question I had watching it because I think I checked out in the third to last season of Voyager.
Yeah, me too.
I just-
Spoiler alert. they make it home.
Well, I
Yeah.
figured they would, but is the timeline correct?
Yeah.
As far as where
Yeah.
Nemesis is at for her to be
They-
an admiral by then?
they'd been home a
Back
year
home. Okay.
by then.
Hmm.
Yeah.
My middle name is Exposition. Captain Exposition Janeway. That's what I will do for Star Trek for the rest of my life.
But I like
So-
the fact that not only do they, does Picard just know Admiral Janeway, they seem to have a familiarity, and we just have nothing because heretofore they have had no interaction to my knowledge.
On
I mean,
screen.
there's a lot of
screen.
stuff that Picard does off screen that we don't know about.
Oh, sure.
There's
It's
that,
one of those,
and-
but
and
he seemed
they
like,
were-
oh, look who it is. It's my
But
friend
they were-
Admiral Janeway.
And I could be wrong, Jake. They were Federation famous for making it back, right? I mean,
Right.
Yes.
So
Oh,
they were
for
like
sure.
stars, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and Picard just seems to know all of the admirals anyway.
I'll bet
Like-
him and Janeway get together a couple times a year to swap Borg stories.
Yeah.
But also, maybe Picard is tackling it the way I tackle meeting anybody out in the world because I don't recognize people when I see them. I have the face blindness, so I just treat everyone like they're my friend, and it's gotten me this far.
I think it's more protocol for him.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
'cause typically,
Diplomatic.
if you look at the run of the show, even with the admirals that he did not deal well with later, like he meets them and then later in the episode there's an issue, he is always very cordial and polite. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the service record in him of like, oh hey, I've been doing this for 40 years at this point.
Yeah.
This is how you greet somebody above, and if it happens to be somebody that you know and or like, great.
Even
But
better.
he seems to be, until they give him a reason not to like them, Picard always seems to give them benefit of the doubt first. And I want to come back to that later in this because there's something that I realized earlier today about this movie.
I will also note that he calls her Admiral and not
Catherine.
True.
Well, I mean, it's just like if we meet a celebrity, like we're cordial to them, right?
Yeah.
Happy to see them, depending on the celebrity.
I call them Admiral.
Yeah, mad respect.
What's so funny to me in that scene is how it's so clearly, the timing is so off in it, because he's reacting in ways and speaking his lines back to her that aren't necessarily earned.
Like they cut out spots, you think?
Yeah, like his whole with or without the fleet, and she like no sells it. Like,
Like we were definitely in two different rooms.
yeah,
Definitely. On different
Yeah.
days.
on different days. Yeah.
So this mission is a surprising development, as the Romulans have regarded Remans as second-class citizens in Romulan society, used principally for slave labor and cannon fodder due to their long history of prejudice. Upon their arrival on Remus, the crew learns that Shinzon is actually a clone of Picard, a remnant of a secret experiment conducted by the Romulans to take Picard's place in Starfleet as a spy. However, he and the project were abandoned after a political change and the Romulan government left him cast away to Remus as a slave. It is there where he meets his Reman brothers and brings about his rise to power. It was also on Remus where Shinzon constructed his flagship, a heavily armed warship named the Scimitar, with completely undetectable cloaking devices, an arsenal of weapons, and virtually impregnable shields. Okay, Rob, I can see you're very excited.
Because I just realized something else.
We all got a lot to say right here.
There's another Romulan who built a Hella ship out of spare parts in a cave. I'm like, where do these Romulans and Remans get all these spare parts? Just build something in secret that nobody knows about. Then, oh, by the way, look what I got.
Romulans
also-
are very wasteful. They just throw
They-
a lot of stuff away.
Well, and they seem to go through a coup like every 5 years.
They even make a joke about that in
Yeah.
the movie. Like, the government
But it
changed
just seems
again.
like that. And the Scimitar was not a tiny ship. Like
No.
It was big.
imagination.
It was a
So
big
it's like,
boy.
where the hell do you hide this thing when you're building it? Like, oh no, nothing to see here. No.
Cloaking devices.
I shaved my head this morning in anticipation of this very moment. Because
Nice.
how do you make a guy look like Picard
James
that looks nothing like Picard?
right?
Well,
shave his
okay,
head.
he also has prosthetics on. He has
He
a
does
prosthetic
have-
nose and a prosthetic
Yeah.
chin.
Yeah.
I
And-
did not
and fake
know.
teeth.
And fake
Yeah,
teeth.
fake
I
upper
did
teeth,
not
yeah.
know Tom Hardy was in this movie.
Oh, you
So
didn't?
when the
Oh.
when the lights come up, I'm like, is that fucking Tom Hardy?
It's Tiny Tom Hardy.
Just itty bitty, one of his
Yeah.
first roles.
They were looking for someone somewhat famous who looked like a young Patrick Stewart. They talked to Jude Law about playing this.
Could you
And
imagine?
he of course said, "Fuck all y'all." And Tom Hardy then stepped in. He felt that his tryout was abysmal. He just taped it in a hotel room and sent it to them. And
If you haven't seen Tom Hardy's MySpace page and his photos from MySpace,
Speaking of
Hi-
2002,
highly recommend giving it a goog because
he had his teeth fixed, right? Because
No,
in this
his
movie,
bottom teeth are still jacked up.
are they still jacked? Okay,
yeah.
because they're real bad in this movie.
They're super crooked. Did anyone else notice besides me that Shinzon's origin story is, aside from the cloning part, is almost exactly like Bane from
do you know?
Batman.
So when I was watching it, and he's given his whole speech or whatever. Do you know what it really reminded me of? Dr. Evil's monologue when he's in therapy with Scott. My mother was a whore, or whatever the therapy speech. Let me find it.
Well, I
really
swear
fast.
that he all but says, "I was born in the dark, and the darkness molded me." I mean,
Well, maybe he just held on to that until, maybe if I have something later in my career, I could use this again.
he's like, "This is pretty good by itself. I bet I can use it again somewhere."
Oh yeah, no. So the Dr. Evil speech where he's like, the details of my life are quite inconsequential. My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Like his whole speech, the whole time I'm thinking, oh, this is Dr. Evil's speech from group therapy.
You know, I think I need to go back and watch those movies.
Dude, I just rewatched them. The first one is actually a pretty genius masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
I
for
remember
another
the
time.
first one I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And the second one I thought, well, okay, that's nice. And then the third
The
I
f-
went,
The first one is a comedic masterpiece, not only for comedies, but in storytelling and like the parody genre. But Dr. Evil in Austin Powers 2 solidified for me as one of the greatest characters of all time.
oh yeah,
Really funny in
absolutely.
the second one.
Tom Hardy, in an interview given years after this film came out, he said that he took this role very seriously as it was intended to be his big break. And he also admitted that he struggled with mental health and drug issues during the shoot, and that the commercial failure of the film, as well as the negative response from longtime fans, hit him hard. It led to his relationship dissolving, him seriously considering to stop acting, turning to alcohol, and even contemplating suicide. It was only when he pulled himself together by seeking professional help and starring in Bronson in 2008 that he got over this film, and his career has since flourished.
Yeah.
But good for him.
He's doing fine.
Hey, yeah, well, his MMA
work,
career has really taken off. I don't know if you guys follow his MMA career.
Is it? Oh, I thought
I'm
it was
sorry,
like
what?
jujitsu or taekwondo or something. Is he doing
Oh.
straight MMA now?
Oh, no, maybe you're right. Maybe it's jujitsu.
you can use that in an MMA.
Yeah. It's
Tom
all
Hardy, regardless,
Tom
Tom
Hardy,
Hardy,
fair play.
professional fighter.
He's a black belt, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
Canon.
Yeah. Tom Hardy.
Maybe he's trying to get his teeth fixed.
By having someone knock him out
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
distraction is cheaper.
Even though the review hurt my feelings.
Have you seen his interview where he talks about coming up with the Bane voice?
No.
Yes.
It's really fascinating. It's him and Christopher Nolan. I think it's for like Vanity Fair or something. But they're talking about how he came up with the Bane voice. And Christopher Nolan seems like such a cool dude because Tom Hardy came to him with this idea, and Christopher Nolan was like, "Well, do it."
See how it sounds.
It's an impression of a famous
Boxer, isn't
boxer guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except he's more of a street fighter, really, a bar brawler. You know.
it? Yeah.
A real ne'er do well, and he says this guy's pretty famous in certain circles, and I just copied his voice, and I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, and Christopher Nolan was like, well, either don't do it and don't be memorable, or do it and we could have a hit on our hands. And it was, I highly recommend seeking out the interview. Can you guys tell I don't want to talk about Nemesis? So
Well, let's just barrel through it, and then we can just sit and
I mean,
and pick
Talk
at
about other stuff.
it. Yeah.
yeah, okay, which is fine because the diplomatic mission seems to go smoothly, and the crew discovers that the Scimitar is emitting low levels of extremely dangerous Thalaron radiation. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Okay, so Tom Hardy has Ron Perlman working for him,
Yeah,
and
which, by the way, the only time I've ever seen them make his head so big the rest of his body looks small in comparison.
That's why I didn't recognize him,
Beauty and the Beast?
because he seemed so proportioned.
Yeah,
that I was
so
like, he looks tiny.
I
That can't be
know.
Ron
It's
Perlman.
crazy.
Have you ever seen
here's
Beauty
the
and the
thing.
Beast, Tony?
No, I never watched that old show.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
that's
make his head pretty big in that too.
Oh, really?
Perlman,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Deanna and Riker are having relations. Okay,
Having relations.
they're
I mean, they're married
It's
now.
it's
they're
the
mar-
honeymoon.
They're
now.
married now. They can finally do it.
Finally. Thank
See, I
goodness.
thought
She
this
got
scene-
past the yuck. It's
She noticed he had a beard, so she got past kissing him with a beard. So she's
Something-
okay with
Af-
it.
something-
after she shaved
She's
it
had
off.
3 years to do it now. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, something that I read in the trivia, Jonathan Frakes refused to have his back shaved for this, and so they went in and post and digitally.
What?
Why?
Of all the
Why?
things to,
Of all
of
the
the hills to
question is,
die
how
on.
hairy is he? Then?
How
Oh, he's
hairy
hairy.
is he?
He's a hairy fool. He is.
Did you ever watch that Beauty and the Beast show?
Touché, Jake.
Okay, here's the thing. Ron Perlman, his character, whatever his name is,
The Viceroy.
the Viceroy.
I was gonna say
Never
Dracula,
met
but-
never met a good Viceroy. Well, his character was actually inspired by Nosferatu. So he's got psychic powers, I guess, and he gets into Deanna's mind and mentally assaults her
Again.
again.
Which is like, how did you enjoy this doing this movie again? I'm like,
This is
Let's do the
just
thing
a
again.
callback to the rest of the series. That's all. You know, they just wanted.
What
to
are we
remind you.
doing?
a little more.
But it's not even just the Viceroy doing it. He's like done the laying on of hands on Shinzon, and it's like this conduit for Shinzon
Yeah,
to
the Viceroy is the one with the telepathic abilities. He's just
Yeah.
letting
yeah.
Shinzon
And then
use
Shinzon's
him.
like, I'm in your head. And Deanna's like, not again. And then she's like, I'm compromised. Please remove me from duty. Like, why are they doing this to me specifically? Why are they punishing me for this?
Well, and Picard's answer was, I don't care. I need you by my side.
Walk it off, Miss
Yes,
Troy.
walk it off. Rub some dirt in it, and let's go.
Mrs. Riker. I'll walk it off.
Okay, so Picard gets captured, and Shinzon's like, hey, because I'm your clone, I need your blood to live because I'm designed to rapidly age or something. And I need your blood, so can I have? And Picard's like, no, I'd rather die. And then B4 gets transported aboard the Scimitar, and he was
He's
a
double
trap.
agent. Yeah.
Ah,
It was after B4 hacked the Enterprise for them.
Oh,
and
yeah,
downloaded
whatever.
all the schematics, etc.
yeah. And everyone on the bridge is like, who could have possibly done this?
Those are
Certainly
not
not the
security
weird
cameras on the
data
ship.
like android that we suddenly picked up randomly on a planet.
The only new thing on the ship.
In the words of Worf, very astute.
Yes.
So now every time Jake sent us this video of Worf being told no for like 15 minutes straight. So now every time Worf is denied something, I notice it, and it's so frequent.
Dang, dude.
Like, why do they hate Worf so much?
Rebecca, I cannot wait for you to see his stuff on Deep Space Nine because Deep Space
'Cause
Nine
it's better?
is literally the redemption of Worf.
Total redemption.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Well, B4 was Data, and then they get. Well, Data has a single transporter thing, and it's like he's like, Geordi gave me this prototype, and he's like, I want you to have it, and Picard's like, we'll find a way out of here together, and I'm like, oh.
Chekhov's transporter patch is what that is.
All right. So
So they fly another fast ship.
They fly another fast ship, and the Scimitar and Shinzon are going to use this radiation to eradicate Starfleet, basically.
Yeah.
And Picard's
Which-
like, oh my God, we got to get back to Starfleet before they do.
By the way, Scimitar, being a big ship, also has massive hallways because they can fly starship
ship
fighters.
through
Just
through
a
the
shuttle right
hallways.
through.
It's like you don't
I
have to
did like
conserve
that.
space at all on this ship.
Well, first of all, Picard goes to pilot the ship, and Data's like, do you want me to fly? And Picard's like, fuck you.
Well, first he
Fly
asks,
this thing.
what do you think this one does? I think that's the thruster. Should I drive?
The port
No.
thruster. No, I could do it.
So the other question I had is, so if they can't open the pod bay doors,
How else
Like,
did they
okay.
get out?
No. They were like, well, it's got phasers or disruptors. We can use those on the interior door. Use them on the fucking pod doors. Blow the pod doors out.
Exactly. Did they say why they couldn't do that, or did they just
I-
just turn
I was-
around like we're gonna blast through the hallway?
It was
Maybe
basically,
because
I don't
the
know if we can
shields
do this,
were
but
up.
We can do this way.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
the
if the
shields-
if the shields were up, how did they plan to leave?
Wouldn't the shields
At
be
all.
up over the bridge port as well, or whatever,
Well,
wherever they blasted through?
To be honest, Mr. Data, this was much more fun.
That's
Okay,
that's what it
it's
felt
like the
like.
emotion.
Now
ship.
this
It's
is
there when
pod
we need it.
racing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, they blast right through the bridge windows of the Scimitar and get back to the Enterprise, and they try to protect the Enterprise from the radiation, and and they just blah blah blah. So they just ram the Enterprise into the Scimitar.
Who
Hey,
who
pulls
does
a
that?
Riker.
Who does that? By the way,
Hard.
no.
No, it's
No.
Deanna.
Oh, well,
Deanna
Picard gave
crashes the
order.
ship again.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed it's always Deanna driving when they're crashing the Enterprise?
Yeah, he gets it.
But she's Mrs. Riker now, so it is still the Riker maneuver.
But
So she's allowed.
But she's doing it under Picard's. Picard's like, well, I know one way to get through the shields.
Right.
So it's under his command.
I
He's just
am
behind
sure.
the wheel.
I am sure that. Well, in Generations, it was under Riker's command. He's like, Deanna, take the helm.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
But I'm sure that she loved doing this movie so much because she got to make glare angry face and say, "Remember me," and then smash the ship in.
Yeah, I guess.
Which- Side note, if you were to play a drinking game and take a drink every time the camera shows someone pushing buttons, a close-up.
They did
of
that a
someone
lot
pushing
during this movie,
buttons. They did a
didn't
lot.
they?
Yes, a
I was
lot.
like,
That
they're
was
putting a
director's
lot of
choice.
emphasis on showing us them pushing those buttons.
Yep.
Crazy.
You know. There's one icing on the cake for why this movie is the worst, and that is the cameo of a certain Starfleet officer.
Brian Singer shows up as a Starfleet officer. Get out of here! You're not Starfleet material, you pervert.
Which scene was this? I don't remember this.
He's on the bridge of the
Yeah,
Enterprise.
he's like sitting at one of the forward stations.
Well,
Oh, that's who that was?
I also
Oh.
just realized I don't know what Brian Singer looks like. So
Hey, think of
okay.
a generic white guy.
It's me.
Rob's having trouble.
Tony,
with that.
you're not a generic white guy.
That's
You are.
true.
That's everybody.
I'm a Sasquatch.
Man.
All right, so Picard goes over there because they got to shut down the radiation sequence, and they have a little bit of a fight. Picard stabs his clone. Yeah, Rob.
Before the fight, before the stabbing, though, they have the monologue off.
They
Yes,
do
Shinzon-
have a monologue off.
I mean, because they're
But
both
here's the
Picard,
thing.
so they
this
got a
is-
monologue.
This is the pin that I wanted to bring back. This reminded me of because I'm like, okay, we're getting two sides of the coin. So this is again Tom Riker, Will Riker, in a different setting, and it's
Ah.
like, okay, if you had gone through these experiences, because Picard tries to prove that you're just like me, you have a chance for redemption, and Shinzon's just like, but if you grew up like I did, you would make these same decisions, and I'm like, if you were trapped on a planet for 8 years, you would be this way, and you would still be this same person, as opposed to 8 years on other spaceships like Will, and you come up this way, and it's like, where does nature versus nurture come in?
Right.
And it's just, and it's the I'm sitting there watching this, just going, Tom Riker.
Yeah.
Tom
this
Riker.
this movie, I did make a note of that. I was like, really interesting conversation to be had about nature versus nurture, and
Well, and it feels like they spent about 20% of the movie on that, and it's like that's kind of interesting. And then they're
Yeah,
just like,
right?
meh, and then they toss it out the window. Like, oh well. Anyway, on to the action scenes.
yeah,
But-
they
but
did spend a
again,
lot of time on it.
To be fair, at the end, in the climactic scene between Shinzon and Picard did try to talk him off of a very high ledge.
They did.
Yeah,
And
as he
it's
is
very
wont to do.
true. Yeah, I was going to say, it's very true to Picard's nature. But then we see when Picard was talking about him earlier, and Beverly was like, yeah, that's you, with Romulan, input. He's like, I see a very brash young man. It's like, okay, if you look back at Tapestry, when we got to see a young Picard,
Yeah.
it's like Shinzon plus his Romulan cave upbringing is exactly like we saw the young Picard in Tapestry. They're like, yes, this is who he was.
Yeah.
And if he had never grown
Except
out of
bald.
it, except bald. Except bald, and but if he'd never if he'd never had that experience that showed him there's a different path to follow. And Shinzon's whole thing after being shunned was, they rejected me, they did this to me, they have brought this on themselves, and he's just like, I'm just mad all the time.
Yeah.
Meh.
Well,
That's my secret, Captain.
If I'd have
I'm always
known,
angry.
I would have sent some Nausicaans to stab him in the cave. And then we wouldn't have had this problem, this movie.
It would have solved the whole thing.
His sliding on the sword, though.
Ooh, and I saw it coming too. I was like, this man's
yeah.
gonna pull himself forward to
You
get
knew.
closer to Picard, and they're gonna have a kiss right before he dies.
That is kind of badass, I have to admit.
It was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then they spend
That's not the kiss that's coming, Rebecca.
they spend a lot of time wasting time during the 30-second countdown before this thing is about to explode, and I'm like, where is the sense of urgency between anybody? And so Data gets over there, because transporters are down, by the way, so Picard's like, well, I guess I'm gonna die on this ship, and Data gets on
Princess Leia's it.
Princess Leia's it. He shoots himself through the air, out of an airlock, over to the Scimitar. God, this movie pissed me off so bad. And
That's the thing that got you.
no, like that.
Like-
it's not that specifically. It's just
That's
the
one of the
whole
things
movie
that-
in general.
That's one of the things that makes the most sense to do.
Well, and that's
I
the thing.
thought, like,
I trust me, Tony. I'm right there with you. The whole time
Okay.
I was like, this. It does 1000% make sense that Data would do this specific, because if you remember, he has Chekhov's transporter button,
like,
and
doesn't need to breathe or doesn't feel the cold
doesn't
of
need to
space.
breathe or get over there. So
just
gets over
a-
there and
take a stroll.
pops that little button on Picard. Picard beams back, and Data explodes the Scimitar, and that's a wrap
Well,
on Data.
The
So
end
going
of
back
Data.
to your point about the wasting time, Picard looked resolute at the point where Shinzon was right there with him. He's like, well, 30 seconds, I guess this is it. He had no look of regret or remorse, other than that Shinzon was dead. And we know that was not what he wanted, because he was trying to talk him down. But you also just get him just like, it's been a good career. I could do, yeah, all right, I'm okay with this.
If this is how I had to die, it's better than landing under a pile of rocks, you know?
Yeah.
Having just killed my clone.
So here's the thing: transporters down on the Enterprise. What about
How
the
did that
shuttles?
thing work?
It
What
was
about-
a one-way, it was like a one-off.
That thing
I
was its
guess.
own self-contained
Yeah.
transporter.
I got it. I'm sorry. A motion ship.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What about shuttles? Shuttles still
Well,
have
there's no
working
time.
transporters.
Yeah, there's no time to get a shuttle
30
prepped
seconds.
and
There's no
launched
time
and
to get to the
around.
shuttle, Tony.
Well, no, they should have done that before they decided to jump out
Well,
Data
sure.
jump out the space.
Hey, you
jump out
make
the
a
space,
lot. There's a
hole.
lot of split-second decisions you got to make as a captain. I am begging you to play that Star Trek game that I keep telling you to
Oh,
play.
I think it was on sale the other day. I was gonna. get
And
it. Yeah.
The
I
last
will.
part about the point about the wasting time, in the 12 seconds that Data had on the Scimitar before it exploded, the time he took to just walk it, we'll call it normal human speed, up the stairs, go to
Yeah.
Picard, sling Shinzon off the sword or off the rebar, and just kind of look at Picard, just be like, okay, here's your transporter, boop, you're going home. And still he had like 5 seconds, and he was just like 3, 2, oh, I should probably do this.
I hope if I shoot right here, it does what I want it to do. Why should
Otherwise, it's
I
going
hurry?
to be awkward.
Yeah.
But just the time it took for him to do. I'm like, okay, I realize that Data's time and human perception of time differ slightly. but
Sure.
Jesus, get a move on.
Yeah, for real. And then, the final scenes on the Enterprise where, Picard makes it to the bridge and he's like, Data didn't make it. I'm actually crying. Not because of the loss of Data, but because of everyone's reactions on the bridge.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was a heartfelt bit of mourning there from everybody.
yeah. It was very sweet. Apparently, Marina Sirtis, when she got the script, called up Brent Spiner because she was like so sad. She was crying about the death of Data.
But it was it was already a movie late at that point because he wanted to die.
He wanted to die.
He
last
wanted to
and
die
Riker
so
told
bad.
him, maybe next time.
Nope. So Riker's off to go command the Titan and begin a peace negotiation mission with Romulus. Picard then
That's the hardest scene. Patrick Stewart has said that's the hardest scene he ever shot in Star Trek.
He
is
said-
that goodbye to Will.
He said the farewell scene in Captain Picard's ready room near the ending had to be reshot after Sir Patrick Stewart unintentionally started crying.
Oh.
You guys.
I would have
It
left
was
that
so
in.
it was so sincere. It was
Thespian.
so it was
I
so
know.
sincere.
I would have left that in.
I was going to say I probably would have left that in
As a
too.
director,
Well, let's-
I would have.
Well, maybe we should
I
get a
don't know.
better director.
Actually, hang on a second. But does that damage the character of Picard? Because Picard, through all these other things that we've seen him
Yeah.
go through, all these other traumas and stresses, we've only seen him, I think, in the entire series, cry twice, maybe 3 times. And I realize it's his protege.
Well, in First Contact, he cried, but then he became an action hero.
Right. Well, and
So-
he was just saying he wasn't like he was never going to see Will again.
Right.
Will's just got his
Yeah.
own command now, and he's going to go off. And
But
do
I mean,
his
it's
own thing.
Change
It's a
in
passing
general
on.
is hard. Yeah.
Right,
Passing
but I'm
the torch,
Well, and
so to
it's
speak.
it's empty nesting, right?
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
it's Picard. My children are going. I want them to be successful more than anything.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering. But again, with Carrie saying maybe they should have left the crying in, I'm like, no, because I think that it would have been more the proud father. Of
Makes sense.
Ushering, pushing the fledgling out of the nest. Like, it's been 15 years. Get out of the chair. Go find your own chair.
And we do get that sort of feel in Picard season 1, and I'll just when they're sitting on the bench. I'll just
Okay.
leave it at that. Yeah.
So there's a scene where they're all sharing their favorite memories about Data. That was very sweet. Riker references the first time he saw Data on Encounter at Farpoint.
Pop goes the weasel.
Pop goes the
'Cause
weasel,
I
and
remembered
then
if Riker doesn't.
Oh, I can
and then,
remember. Nice, Rob.
exactly, why are we expecting Worf to know Earth music from the 18th century?
Raised by Russian parents.
Still, music from the 18th
On
century. Who
Earth.
knows? Who among us
I
can
don't
just
know music
name
from the 18th
Beethoven,
century.
Mozart.
name
I will-
name specific pieces and then sing them for us?
Where did
Moonlight
your
Sonata. No words.
where did your wife spend a good chunk of her career, Rob?
That's not where. I actually know more from my mother
All right.
in her career.
Okay, listen, Rob.
Listen,
You're
if-
special and unique.
Listen, if J.J. Abrams' Captain Kirk can remember the Beastie Boys, I'm okay with.
Yeah, if
it's
Zephram
happening.
Cochran can remember Steppenwolf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the
Uh,
Beastie Boys are going to last longer than Mozart.
I had one problem
Roy
with this
Orbison.
toasting scene. And I love the fact that we got Riker remembering that first scene on the holodeck with Data trying to learn how to whistle. And how humanizing it was to see him trying this and wanting to be better. I loved, it was nice to hear Picard keep his speech about Data very short, just to absent friends and moving on. I personally am upset that we didn't get to see anything other than Geordi being weepy-eyed.
Yeah.
It's like
Deanna
this is his
full on
best-
sobs.
Best friends.
Well,
yeah.
no. But I mean, Geordi is like this is
Oh,
his
his
best friend, like
best
Tony
friend,
just said.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is the guy that we have watched these two. Outside of Wesley Crusher, these are our two characters we got to see grow up on Star Trek.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
And now,
Holmes and Watson. Yeah.
yeah, Holmes and Watson. I mean, you're going to find Rebecca. You're about to find another relationship, another friendship that parallels this one on DS9. That is delightful to watch grow. But we've seen these two have been through so much together through all the Leah Braham stuff, all the emotion chip stuff, all of the your father left this program for you or this program, or hey, here's a long lost relative of yours, and all we get is from Geordi is just like, and I'm like,
That's a bummer.
where the hell? What the hell?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Geordi knew the
I can see
entire
that.
time. Data's just a machine.
He'll
Doesn't
be
have a
fine.
soul.
I got a backup. I got a dumb backup in the basement.
Or
Yeah,
he's sitting there thinking, I'm so high right now.
Or is he like, I'm finally free?
Jeez. We're the worst.
I did really like in that scene because, like I mentioned, Deanna does like full on start sobbing. I really like that, not only because I think she as a singular person is so sad, but because she's a Bene Z, she's an empath, and she's
Feeling it.
collecting
Mopping the scene from the
everyone's
room.
emotions.
Oh yeah,
I
she's
thought
got
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
And so
that
she
too.
just cannot hold
Except
it back.
Worf is just like, he died an honorable death.
I love the fact that they did To Absent Friends as well.
Yeah.
But
And
I
to
like
family.
it.
I'm sorry, to absent friends and to family.
And to family. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the throwback to Star Trek 3. But then, and Rebecca, forgive me, when they do that at the end of Star Trek Beyond, they do the Kirk says To Absent Friends as well, but the camera pans to Anton Yelchin, who played Chekhov and died.
Oh, I'm gonna barf. Oh my god,
Yeah,
so sad.
I know. Yeah, it's
Big
it's
time.
it's very, very touching though.
Yeah. Oh my
Victor,
god, I'm gonna
Victor, too.
barf.
And just knowing the history of that phrase within the franchise and have it implemented in that way. Then,
I was thinking a lot of our friends Jeff and Jimmy during that
Yeah.
scene, particularly Jeff, because
Particularly Jeff, because
Yeah.
we always referred to them, him and his brother, as Data and Lore.
Oh.
who was who?
Jeff was Data.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Scott was. He was Lore.
But yeah, I was thinking a lot about our friend Jeff during that scene. And then Picard goes to talk to Dum Dum Data and is like, "Hey, Data was cool. You better be cool as well." And
Yeah.
movie
Technically
ends.
got all of Data's
Why?
memories.
Yeah.
you
Did
know?
I mention I don't like kids? Stop acting
One
like a
thing to
kid.
know about me.
Well,
okay.
What a and what a
Jake Lore.
So I'm just gonna say yes. The movie is so bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's the script leaked a year before it came out, the early days of the internet. So this was a big deal. I read the script, and when I read the script, I was like, "This movie's great," because it really felt like reading it. That it was going to be the send off that we wanted. Data's making the ultimate sacrifice. Riker and Troy are getting married. It's what I wanted.
so
That's
what
not
went
what was
wrong?
executed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they hired like a first time director.
I looked at his IMDb. This man is an editor.
Yep.
He's
That's it.
Oh.
strictly an editor.
Yep. He edited
who did he have
Superman the
dirt on?
movie. That was his big claim to fame. He was the editor on 78 Superman.
Wow.
But what I wanted to kind of say about this is that, again, forgive me, Rebecca, the first JJ movie and Picard season 1 make this movie better.
I know you don't believe it, but
How does the first JJ movie make
Come
this
on,
movie
bring,
better?
bring it home. Bring it home.
Because of the whole Romulan supernova and Spock, and things have progressed within the Romulan diplomatic relationship and all of that,
Okay.
such that the Federation now is stepping up to help them. But that's not just what there's part of that in Picard season 1 that is
Yeah.
all of
Is
that.
are Romulans a Picard season 1 thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
it's the follow up, Rebecca. It's the follow up on that Romulan supernova from the JJ movie. It's how the rest of the Federation handled that.
So Picard season 1 ties into the JJ movies?
no,
Loosely,
no.
It's more
It's just-
JJ movies tied into Picard season 1.
because in both of them, Romulus is destroyed, right?
I thought it was Vulcan
Yeah.
that was destroyed.
No, no,
No,
Vulcan.
so-
hold on a
Well,
second.
Vulcan
So
was a
it's-
casualty.
This Romulan supernova happened in the prime timeline.
Huh?
So we get to
and
hear
then they travel to JJ space.
correct.
Right.
So
Oh
after,
yeah.
after it
Yeah.
explodes, that's when Spock winds up in the Kelvin timeline.
That's right.
Right.
I remember now.
But what Picard season 1 does really, really well is it does chase the threads. It ties up the threads of B4
Yep.
and a lot of those other kind of things that were so grating in the movie. They basically say in Picard, yeah, this sucked and it still sucks, but we're making it better.
We're going
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
We're making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yep.
And then they lose their way in season 2. And then they bring it back around on in season 3 for an excellent season.
Season
I
two-
heard season. I thought season 2. I heard it was fine.
I
okay.
didn't
It's
like
fine.
season-
It's
I
okay.
liked
It
It
season
better
two.
be. It has my boyfriend.
Here's the thing. Season 1 was awesome. Season 2 was like, what happened, guys? I mean, that was okay.
Yeah.
And then
And then
season 3 was like, okay, now we're
Oh.
talking.
Yeah.
Well, season
Yeah.
3 also went like season 2. We don't talk about season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Oh.
straight up say that in season 3. Like, all that stuff that happened, just forget
Forget
it.
about that.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh.
Allow me to read Roger Ebert's review
Oh no.
of this movie. I'm smiling like a good sport and trying to get with the dialogue, and gradually it occurs to me that Star Trek is over for me. I've been looking at these stories for half a lifetime, and let's face it, they're out of gas.
Oh, if only you had lived long enough to see
If
Strange New
only.
Worlds
Exactly.
and Discovery.
Then
And
just
Prodigy
need to,
even.
need to wait
Yeah.
for the second wind. That's all.
Yep.
So let's talk about this motherfucker Stuart Baird. Director Stuart Baird was reportedly oblivious to the universe of Star Trek The Next Generation to the point where he thought Geordi LaForge was an alien instead of a human with cybernetic eyes.
Oh, what?
However, screenwriter John Logan was a longtime fan of Star Trek who relished the opportunity to contribute to the franchise. Isn't that nice? So the cast, in particular Frakes, Sirtis, and Burton, leveled fierce criticism at Stuart Baird over the direction of this film, claiming he hated the Star Trek universe and knew nothing about it. Frakes even called the film a huge disappointment. For his part, Baird expresses his frustration in the Blu-ray commentary at having to tell a story in an established universe with pre-existing design and character relationships, hated having to utilize recycled sets and props, and had trouble remembering the names of the main cast.
That's why you don't bring in someone who doesn't know anything about a franchise.
Frakes said if
You
he was
know?
asked to direct this movie, he would have said yes.
I was going to say, I'll bet from Jonathan Frakes' point of view, watching this get directed was
Would
probably
I-
torturous.
Actually, for any of them
Furious.
who've directed.
And there
Yeah.
there have been stories where cast members straight up said to Stuart Baird, "No, my character wouldn't do that. I'm not doing that."
Good.
Sometimes you got to.
Patrick Stewart was paid nearly as much for this film as he made in the entire run of Next Gen.
Dang.
That's what it took.
But Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner both accepted salary cuts in order to keep the budget under control.
Wow.
Good for them.
This
Nice-
is insane.
Nice of them.
Michael Dorn was reportedly very upset about Worf having nothing to do.
Literally. Like,
Oh, come on, he did this.
yeah, exactly. I think I remember 2 lines from him in the whole movie. Romulan ale should be outlawed. The Romulans fought with honor.
And
Did he
and
say
Berlin.
anything
Klingons
else?
Klingons should not be naked.
Oh, yes.
So he said 5 things in the movie.
Yeah.
More than a third of this film, including most of the character moments and a great chunk of the expository dialogue, was deleted before the final release.
Really?
Who likes
And
character
then-
moments
Oh,
anyway?
so it was the
That-
Zack Snyder cut. Got it.
And then midway during shooting, the captain's chair from the bridge set disappeared, apparently stolen. While the film crew scrambled to find a way to work around the problem, Star Trek Enterprise, the cast and crew were shooting in sound stages next door, decided to have a little fun. And Scott Bakula visited Patrick Stewart's trailer to present him with a makeshift wooden replacement chair with the letters KAPTIN painted on it.
That's like salt in the wound. of a
Oh.
That's
project
fun.
already going
Whatever. I
terribly.
would think that's fun. If I was a Star Trek, that would be fun.
If I was Patrick Stewart having the time he was probably having on this, I would have looked at Archer and just been like, "You bastard."
Great.
You
I
bastard.
believe that Jonathan Frakes tells the story about the stealing of the captain's chair and its recovery on an episode of the Ready Room. I will look that up.
Oh.
Nice.
Great. I had to
Yeah.
take a pay cut, and then someone stole my chair, and now you're here with this,
You bastard.
Scott Dracula.
Well, and so that's the terrible send off
Yeah.
from our friends over at Next Generation.
So here's a question, Jake, if you know,
Yeah.
because Rebecca's point, terrible send off. Was the feeling of nostalgia so great at Paramount that they were like, we can do this better? And is that where Picard came from?
It wasn't initially that, no. They the original plan for Paramount Plus / CBS All Access was to have 52 new weeks of Star Trek a year to prevent churn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as part of the brainstorming around that, Alex Kurtzman was like, well, what if? And so they called Patrick Stewart and they were like, you want to put the spacesuit back on? And he was like, I will do anything but that.
Okay.
Whoa.
But basically it was a lot of pitching him, and because they had 52 weeks of Star Trek that they had to figure out how to fill, and he ultimately acquiesced, obviously, but he had so much story control
Okay.
that was kind of the carrot for him.
I think he talks about that in his memoir too. Like he was really hesitant to come back.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I'm
but
just thinking, like, third season, I'm just like, oh, fan service.
Yeah, but
fan service.
it was fan service, but it was done in such a good way.
No. And I don't mean that. And I don't mean that in this case in a bad way, because
Okay.
it was one of those things. Like, I know that we get lost a lot of times in the nostalgia of, remember when?
Sure.
Yeah.
But we got just enough of that every week from Picard season 3 to be like, oh, and with enough new content to go, how are they going to tie this up? And then they hit you with this thing from year past, like, hey, remember this thing?
Yeah.
Here you go. Here, have this.
And I think that season 3 was definitely an evolution of the plan and Patrick Stewart specifically.
That makes sense.
Apparently, when he signed the deal to do Picard, he gathered the cast for a dinner, and he announced that he was going to do the show, and then he said, "And none of you are in it."
Oh, great. Thanks.
You guys remember when Patrick Stewart had a stick up his butt and he wasn't fun? and then the rest of the Next Gen crew was like, you have to take the stick out of your butt, and then he did. And then they all became really good friends.
They started
And
playing
they still
poker.
are.
Isn't that nice?
That is.
I have a book recommendation for y'all.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
That sort of sets up this movie a little bit, but it really sets up Deep Space Nine. And
I
it's
have to do homework before Deep Space Nine. What do you think this whole show has been?
it's called Pliable Truths. Star Trek: The Next Generation Pliable Truths. It's been out about a year, I want to say, by an author named Dayton Ward, who's one of the keepers of canon at Star Trek. And it's the negotiations for the Cardassian withdrawal from Terok Nor and the Federation coming in.
Oh.
And who is the chief negotiator on the Cardassian side? Gul Madrid. There are 4 lights.
Oh.
By the way, I read 1984 this week, and There Are Four Lights is a direct pull from 1984. I had no idea. That's crazy.
So, it's Picard's PTSD confronting his abuser while trying to negotiate
man.
this withdrawal from Bajoran space and all of that. And it's a great murder mystery. It will be a great introduction, Rebecca, for one of the most mysterious characters on DS9.
So should I read this before I start DS9?
If you can, I think it will give you more
It's-
context for it.
I was going to say
but-
it's probably not necessary, but it
Right.
would just be,
Yeah.
Well, you know me,
definitely say-
I love having context.
I will definitely say, do not read the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko. No. Because it's told from the perspective after season 7.
Yeah.
It does go into Sisko's history and background, but it covers, like, the last few chapters cover a lot of ground in DS9 through all of the seasons, and talks about a lot of characters that you should organically meet and not meet this way if you don't know their stories.
Yeah. Babe, I had no plans to read that book.
That's unfortunate because it's actually really well done. I was actually, aside from the nostalgia factor of the book, it was really well written, and I was happy to find out after looking it up, it was a black author because it gave a level of authenticity to the way that Sisko spoke and talked and related his story to Jake.
So I guess, okay, I had no plans to read it before the show, before DS9.
Okay. Well, now that being said, so we're going to start on the next episode, Deep Space
You guys,
Nine.
I'm scared.
Oh,
Well,
don't be scared. Don't be
Everyone
scared.
in the universe has been hyping this up beyond.
And see, I wanted to address that. I worry that we have overhyped it for you.
Literally
How come-
every
how
single
come
person in the
everybody loves Star
universe.
Here's what I would say. Like any show, it does need a little bit of time to get its feet under it. So don't expect, the best thing ever right out the gate. Give it
2 seasons.
I was
That-
going to say give it a season or so.
but
You'll
that being-
like it,
That
but it
being
doesn't
s-
get
that being
really
said,
good till
though,
later.
I'm 10 episodes in on season 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. You hit 10, huh?
I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I'm sorry.
you're watching it too from a nostalgia point
He's
of
got
view.
to watch it anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he's watching it already, but
And-
he already has all those warm, fuzzy feelings from the
And
first
I
time.
gotta say though that this first season, they're mostly pretty solid. I
Yeah.
mean, they do their best to kind of give you, here's the character, here's what the character's about. The only person that they're not treating that way is Julian. He's like the space horn dog. That's about all they've got for him to do right now.
What more do you need to be?
Garrick's
I
friend.
will say that, in my opinion, the pilot is the best pilot of the franchise.
I would agree. I would agree. Yes.
Really? Okay, damn.
You just hyped it up some more for her, Jake.
Oh, now see,
No,
we're doing.
'cause I'm trying- I'm trying to
Because also don't forget, for me the best pilot of the franchise is The Cage, but that's just me.
Well, it'd be interesting. to see.
There's some, I would say there's some parallels to the Cage actually here.
Could be. Yeah. So, go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say this is out of context a little bit. Slight correction. Tom Hardy has a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu, not a black belt.
Oh, well,
I had to
thank
look
you.
that
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very important.
So the next episode of this podcast, we're going to do the 2-hour.
Yeah,
premiere?
I think just the 2-hour premiere, because I know you guys are going to want to talk about everything. So, so
I will
I,
have a lot more to say.
yeah, so we'll just talk about Emissary, the 2-hour premiere of Guys, I'm so scared.
Don't be. It
Don't
really.
Can I offer this bit to you, Rebecca? You were led into DS9 with a familiar face,
Yeah.
and your hand held into it to a little bit. But they don't pull. Once that familiar face leaves, the way that they set things up gives you leaves you with questions that make you want to find out more about where they're going, what this show is. Because I mean, it got a reputation for a reason as gas station in space. But it was also one of these things for people who had an affinity for the series, understood sometimes this has to happen because sometimes there's just a star base and this is just where you are. But you get enough other things brought in, not just with the lead character, but the ensemble cast, the entire cast gives you something, and having them learn to work with each other, because the initial meetings for all of them are not great.
Not great.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it features 2 of my favorite Star Trek women in this. Both Kira and Dax are just a couple of my favorite characters. They're just amazing and good actresses and easy on the eye. Just
That always helps.
And it's
right?
got the largest recurring cast of
Yeah.
almost any show on television.
that's true. That's true.
I'm going to take the opposite tact and say you should be afraid, because if you don't like this, then you're not a true Star Trek fan.
Yeah, you
and
guys,
you've
what if I hate this?
You've been wasting your time up until this point, and you might as well just give up.
But see, I can't
Turn in
read.
your pips, Rebecca.
I can't read you, Rebecca, because
That's the thing. She can't.
anytime I see an episode and I think Rebecca's going to hate this,
loves it.
she'll turn right around and she'll go, "I love this, you guys."
I don't
And I'm
know
like,
why you ever thought I would hate Western Star Trek.
So
Well-
the best analogy I've ever heard is that Star Trek was Wagon Train to the Stars, Deep Space Nine is Gunsmoke.
Do I need to watch Gunsmoke?
No,
a lot of
but it's
No,
it's just
okay.
it's
I'll buy
just
that.
it's the saloon on the frontier,
Yes.
and people are coming, and
People are going, and yeah.
Big
The
stuff
adventure's coming
happens.
through.
And so then the wormhole is the gold rush. It's
Yep.
the gold
Yep.
in them thar hills.
So
Yep.
you could say Deep Space Nine is basically Denver during the wagon train era.
Deep Space 49ers. Anybody? Anybody?
Here's where you go before you go out into the harsh country.
Yeah.
And one of the other things
Okay.
that I think you might appreciate about it is there's a very prominent religion, and it examines being a non-believer of that religion within where it's like the primary culture.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are. God, better like this show.
Be afraid. If you don't like it, that's it. You're not friends with any of us anymore.
I'm excited.
Swear to God. Okay.
I
Well,
am excited
well,
for you too.
that's the Next Generation. Remember when we started Next Generation? Wasn't that forever?
I was
I'm
so
also
young.
here's the thing. I'm also kind of scared to start DS9 because I kind of feel like something major happens in the middle of whatever new series we start. So Carrie, we were in the middle of the original series when my house burned down.
That's right.
We were in the middle of Next Gen when we were slapped with a cease and desist.
That's right.
What's it going to be this time?
What's it gonna
No,
be?
no, we've learned so
the
many
middle-
things since then, and we know what to avoid.
The middle of this show is Worf shows up, so that's
Oh my God.
that's where we're going.
What traumatic event is going to happen in the middle of Deep Space Nine that's going to affect me for the rest of my life?
Well, it's
Nothing, Tony. Say
it's-
nothing.
say nothing. Yeah.
I have so many things to. I will say nothing.
It's not going to be skin cancer because this Noma is the okay kind of Noma. It's not the bad Noma.
Okay, clear
I,
there.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
You're gonna
You guys
watch
can
Princess Bride. No, you're gonna watch Princess Bride. in
The
middle
most
of this run.
traumatic event.
Hey, the deal's on the table. I'm telling you, I'll watch all of the original series and the animated original series.
All right, you guys. Well, place your bets as to what traumatic event will afflict us in the middle of Deep Space Nine.
She just skimmed right over that.
Yep. You guys, next time we see you, we'll be in a different space station. Maybe I'll promote myself. Who knows?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
think
I'm
you
still
deserve
good.
that promotion.
I'm still going to be an
Yeah,
ensign.
yeah.
But
Because
you know,
you could be a chief. Like you could promote yourself to an NCO rank.
yeah, I
Still lower
could.
deck.
That's a good point. Maybe I want. I'll put in that request, Rebecca. I'm going to put in. I'm gonna
Denied.
Put in my request for. Oh wow! You didn't even look at the paper.
Tony, that's what happened to O'Brien. O'Brien started as like a lieutenant, and he kept losing pips, and then he was a chief and an NCO on Deep Space Nine.
It fits. I'm doing it.
All right.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you next in the gas station in space. It's been fun. And you know, make it so, everybody.